live from the Pathway Studios in Johnston proper. You are live from the path.
And you're listening to Live from the Path. We're coming to you from the Pathway Studios here in Johnston proper. El Studios El Pathway. I don't know what's going on like that. Here's what we got going on the show tonight. Here's the deal. I hesitate to even wade into this. Because Christianity Today, there's like an outgoing editor, and he decided to fire a cannon on the way out, and he says, "This is why you. He's talking about the impeachment of Donald Trump.
El Trumpo el impeachment.
Let's stop that. So anyway, there's a brouhaha about it, and I'll be honest with you, it fell on frankly sides that you would expect. People who
love Jesus.
No, Dan. I'm suspicious of Dan.
200 evangelical leaders condemned the article.
The 200 evangelical leaders signed off on the pro-gay pact not 5 years ago.
Well, they're
Dan.
Stupid. They're different ones.
Okay, then.
It's the Jesus ones.
Now, so anyway, they did the editorial. There was a series of rebuttals, including by Franklin Graham and a number of other people. And then Christianity Today did like a follow-up editorial for like the new editor guy, and frankly, like having read the responses, and then the follow-up, I found the follow-up at least much more cohesive, and an attempt to, I think, to not, you have to talk into context, right? Like you can't just fire you're not helping the fray when you just fire a shot into the dark and walk away, which is basically what the first guy did. I think the second attempt from Christianity Today was better, and at least attempted to articulate kind of what was going on. Mike came across some discussion by the guy from Seventh-day Slumber, who was the dude who had written that response to the Hillsong guy,
and it was good.
The guy who was leaving the church, and,
yeah,
and he provided a response, and so and Mike felt you said you felt the response was compelling, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was at least a little bit more even-handed, right? Like it seems to take a step back and go, look, what are we really dealing with here, right? Like there's obviously extremes on both sides of both our political process and how you feel about Trump as a dude, right? But there is a little bit of stepping back and go, look, what are we really dealing with here?
Yeah.
That's probably worth talking about.
Okay, so we'll read his response and we'll see if we got any reactions in the room, and then we are going to do some secular versus Solomon.
Yeah.
I got that fired up, ready to go.
El secularo salamando.
This is gonna be rough.
What are you doing?
And then and we got kids. We got our kids in the room.
Yeah.
We made promises. Mike and I made promises, and to be honest, this is the last show of the year. There's no choice here. It had to happen now.
Wait. Is this like you're writing an article saying to get rid of Trump, and now you're heading out?
Yes, that's basically it. We're throwing
Bring on the kids, and by the way, it's a sinking ship.
Yeah, and then we're done. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, great.
So they've been preparing. Emma, I think, has taken in 15, 20 episodes of Secular versus Solomon. So are you feeling ready? You feeling prepared? Wait, what are you saying? You saying I repeat? Oh, shoot.
Well, there's only so many proverbs.
and the answer is Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. This is good to know. Okay, I will be ready, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Secular versus Solomon. And then Mike, did you have any heads up on Dear Life from the Path?
Yeah, something about somebody adopting some cats after somebody passed away and something or other. I just gave it a quick breeze.
Okay, solid.
El editorial el brizo.
No.
This is my crowd, Ben. Yeah.
This is your fan base.
Yeah, 18 and under. That's me. Hello.
This is the complete audience of the show.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. All right, here we go. Here's the article. Guy from Seventh-day Slumber posts on December 19th. He says, "I love Christianity Today, but this is not only one-sided; it's flat-out biased and wrong." This is talking about the original article, not the second one.
Appreciate it.
Second, Dan, who did not read the article. 65 million people voted for Donald Trump. Many of those were evangelicals. We did not vote for him because he's a top-notch Christian or because we want our kids to grow up to be just like him. We voted for him because we had two realistic choices. Either Donald Trump was going to be president or Hillary Clinton was going to be president. We picked the one whose policies we believe would affect our families in a positive way. We don't see Trump as God or as the chosen one, Pastor Trump, Reverend Trump, etc. Some of us don't even like him very much. The truth is we see a bigger picture. Approximately 150 conservative judges have been positioned into our federal courts as well as 2 Supreme Court justices. Roe versus Wade is on the verge of being overturned and our religious freedoms are being defended. I've responded to a magazine that I respect and it could affect my career. At the same time, it is important to speak up for those who may feel put down or ridiculed by this piece. And so he said, you say he also goes by this is the guy. So what he did was kind of quote some of the pieces from Christianity Today and then basically provided an interpretation or a reaction. So first one, Christianity Today says, let's grant this to the president. The Democrats have had it out for him from day one, and therefore nearly everything they do is under a cloud of partisan suspicion. He says that's true. 2, Christianity Today says, this has led many to suspect not only motives but facts in these recent impeachment hearings. And no, Mr. Trump did not have a serious opportunity to offer his side of the story in the House hearings on impeachment. He agrees. That's also true. But the facts in this instance are unambiguous. The President of the United States attempted to use his political power to coerce a foreign leader to harass and discredit one of the president's political opponents. His response. The problem with this statement is not only have you passed judgment on the president and found him guilty, but you did it without giving him his day in court. This hasn't been given over to the Senate yet. You've written in your piece about how unfair the Democrats have been to him and how they have had it out for him since day one, yet you convicted him without even allowing him his day in court. You've brought him to be stoned, and by your own admission, he didn't have a chance to defend himself. See, here's the deal. This is where I think we have to be fair. And again, I'm going to say this is where I think the second response from Christianity was much better, is they at least recognize the reality that we're actually dealing with. The House is not a trial. It's just not. It doesn't even pretend to be a trial, except for people who have said, hey, we voted that he should be impeached, and they're like, oh, it has the force of law. It doesn't. And you look stupid if you're acting like it does. And you're being led astray by Democratic politicians if you think it does. To the same point, just because it doesn't mean that he's exonerated either. You simply don't know. Yeah. And so there's no reason to open up your mouth and go off on a tangent unless all relevant facts have been vetted. And I know if you think that the man is guilty as all get out, you feel like everything has been done. And I'll give you another example of what I saw today. Do you guys remember that guy that's accused of murdering that young girl in Iowa like a year ago?
Yeah, the guy that he has to have an interpreter.
Yeah, in Brooklyn, Iowa. Now here's the deal: because of how bad that crime was, like you just want the guy convicted. You're like, just convict him, get him into prison. Let's see justice served. So there was something that happened in the courtroom today where they had to throw out some of the evidence. And I didn't read it too closely. Like it was not whatever happened. It wasn't admissible in court, and people are outraged, like they're trying to let him off. Here's the thing: if it's not admissible in court, it's because it was either illegally collected or someone like it shouldn't have been there, or it's gotten under duress. Whatever it was, that isn't a judgment as to whether the man's guilty or not. It just means that procedurally, whatever this bit of piece is, it cannot be considered because we have a stringent political or judicial system that ensures that people get fair shakes. Even a guy where the thing that you thought was so egregious and you just want it punished. That is mob justice, and we don't do that here. All right? That's why the guy gets to go through a trial, regardless of how guilty you think that he is. And so if your reaction to that was, boy, this is outrageous, the court is really screwing up, like, they're following the law. They're following the law, and they're trying their best to follow the law. And, like, regardless of what you think of the president, we have processes for a reason. Calm down.
Okay, so maybe we don't have to go through the whole article here, because we haven't even touched on this, mostly because, like, I listened to a poll the other day that basically said no one's actually paying attention to this, right? If you were on the side that believes that Trump is guilty, then they are tending to pay more attention to the impeachment trials, right?
Yes.
Everybody else is just kind of going whatever, like they check in on it. They're not hanging on every word like they were for both the Nixon and the Clinton impeachment trials, where everybody was paying pretty close attention to this thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny because my reaction was I watched a couple of them and every time they'd show a new guy, he'd be like, I'm blah 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 blah, and I'm head of the blah blah blah. I'm like, what do we pay you to do normally? Why aren't you doing that? Like,
go to work.
I mean, when the government right now has a complete characterization of being ineffective, of being gridlocked and not getting anything done on both sides, right? We're literally donating like 15, 20, 30, 40 people to this thing where I'm like, what are you hired to do normally? What are you supposed to be doing right now? I agree it's important. The thing that they're trying to get to the bottom of, I agree it's important that we should get to the bottom of it, and that's part of our system, right? But like the pomp and the circumstance that surrounded it, it just seems like they got this drama factory all tuned up, right? For no actual reason. We're not getting this in depth on healthcare discussions. We'll call a recess and let that sit for months. But this thing, we got to tune it up like right now. Got to happen right now. And I'm like, I'm missing it on the pomp of it. I guess
I would agree. And if there's a warning. So I agree with you, and my general take on the circumstances is that I think they've put on a very, very large show. Frankly, I think they've significantly miscalculated that they will not have enough to convict him in the Senate, and he will easily win re-election because they've done everything they can to rile up the base that voted for him.
He's a victim now.
That was a mistake. I think that was a
political mistake, right? Yeah. If you create a victim, then you create something that people want to back.
Correct, and
they have inadvertently, in an attempt to put him down, have created a victim out of him.
To the extent that you identify with Donald Trump as the person that represents you, and you feel like he is being maligned, then you feel like you're being maligned. And so yes, that they've created that. I will say on the other side of it, and this is my worry. This has been my consistent thing when it comes to him. Just because you put 150 conservative judges in the courts does not mean that you get to do anything you want, and that I have to support you for anything you want. Right, and so here's the deal: if he's done something illegal and they through a fair process they find him, then whatever, then the consequences should follow.
Yep.
The fact that he put 150 conservative judges in the court doesn't mean I like his moral character. It doesn't mean I have to support everything that he does, and it doesn't mean that I will not say that out loud just because I don't want people misinterpret that I really do support putting judges on the board.
Correct. And to be honest, like I have a harder time with some of my Christian friends. Like, they will go to the wall for this man, and, like, I'll watch one interview with him and go, oh, man, I wish he would just be quiet and stop talking. Just stop. I mean, it's just the most bumbling, enigmatic, just ridiculous flow of conscious speak coming out of it. I watched him. I remember this like it was yesterday. I watched an interview with him like a year ago, and they were talking about cybersecurity, and he goes, there's a lot of bad actors on the internet, and they're just bad, and they're getting bad, more bad. And we have people in place to find out how bad they are, and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
It's the most bad ever.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, I knew that already. This is the best you had to offer?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the whole problem. I feel like during World Wars and stuff, like everybody, the whole country, it was the United States and Europe versus Japan. And right now it's half the United States versus a quarter of the United States versus a couple of Russians and the rest of the United States. And I'm like, what is going on?
Well said.
You nailed it. I think you're right.
Run for president, please.
Okay. Boy, I'd like to see the couple of Ruskies over there, but I go like, yes, they're very good.
Emma is on to us.
We will now change all our money for Bitcoin.
Be careful what you say on your phone from now on.
That's right. That's right.
They're watching.
What is this Lamborghini you speak of?
Okay. All right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We could drop it. I guess. I don't know. We haven't talked about the whole thing or whatever. And like the amount of slapping. We were just talking about this when it comes to Christianity, or earlier this week, talking about how you deliver messages, right? And like how you proclaim the good news and how the gospel is spread, and it's the theme of the show, right? Like you be faithful in the means and God will handle the ends. And like, especially when it comes to political points, Christians forget everything they ever learned in the Bible and they just start slapping people. And like, that is just not how we conduct ourselves. It just isn't. Maybe a free country is more than you can handle, right? Like we talk about this. We talk about this when we talk about people's proclivity to sin and certain places you can't go. Well, maybe you, sir, can't exist and follow Jesus well in a free country because you bring out a big red slap all the time. That is not how you conduct yourself. It just isn't.
Yeah, it's what it all boils up to is ultimately who you're beholden to, and that's where you make distinctions. Like where things are faithfully following the thing that I would vote for and that follows my worldview, I will say that. Where it's not, I will say that. Just be honest. Just be honest with it. And like ultimately, if you're faced like the point, I think one of the points that guy was making, and I think what's missed in a lot of like the liberalized part of Christianity is they act like there's not a context to your vote for Trump, right? Like, whereas, like, they are improperly painting people as saying, "Oh, I'm totally support this man, and so that's why I voted for him."
No.
If you're picking from either way, whether you thought, "Boy, I can barely pick this, but it's better than the alternative," it registers the same as if you wore suspenders and a suit of overalls that say with Trump's face all over it. Like, it doesn't matter. The vote is the vote.
He'd be the one selling them to you.
Yeah.
I bet he's got a stockpile of them at his place.
These are good. They cover all, and they cover all of it, and all of it is good.
They're all American.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is that, like, that isn't just because the vote was the vote, that doesn't mean it's everybody's reality. I respect people that feel like they did that. I respect people who said, "Look, I just can't do it." I get it. It's ambiguous enough for me that I understand. But, like, the core thing from a Christian perspective, you have to be honest, and you have to be. We don't have to put up a facade to defend something that is not defensible, but then we should willingly defend things that are totally defensible.
Right, because otherwise you lose all your credibility, right? Like, if I can listen to that guy, where maybe some of his public policies I can agree with, right? But then I can watch him get on Twitter and act like a 3-year-old. I still get to call both, right? Like, I still get to say, yeah, I agree with that, with the law he passed. And then I get to say, why is he acting so immature? He's a grown adult. Why are we doing this, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I think if you get to say both, then you get some credibility back. But, like, if you swing with a big bat either way, then you're a shill, and everybody knows it. Right? Everybody knows you're shilling.
I don't know anybody who, like, fully supports him. I mean, and I'm sure there's people out there.
Yeah.
But they tend to act like it because the people who hate him so strongly. I mean, it's like they just spew venom. And so it's a defensive mechanism, I think. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm the same way. I'm like, dude, just shut up. Just stop it. You're doing some great stuff. Just do that stuff.
And I think those are the people I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Is the folks that, like, first of all, you're not going to change. People that hate him are not going to change either way. Secondly, that you allow them a caricature when you voice your full support behind a man that, honestly, you can't fully support.
I mean, yeah, there's stuff you just can't defend.
Yeah.
So why try?
Yeah, knock it off.
Yeah,
Yes, be human about
I'm
this.
there. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Even though
Liberal
the article
shills.
was written by a liberal hack.
Christianity yesterday. That's what he meant to say.
So here's what's interesting is I'll tell you the second response from Christianity Today, I felt like they did a better job of representing the context. They still fall on the other side, but I felt like if from my perspective, I felt like they did a much better job of at least digesting how that sits. And I think there is a part of what they talk about on the context of, hey, like, this is harming Christian witness. Like, to be honest, they're right. I think they're right. But a lot of it is in the presence of full support when you know you can't provide full support. Mm-hmm. Like, you got it. We're just honest people. And, like, here's the thing. Get ready to set the complaint line on fire. There are certain things the Obama administration did that I thought were good.
I agree.
I was for them, and I thought they were handled well. And I willing, not that I didn't say it on the show because we don't do political stuff on the show, but, like, when it came down to it, I'd say, yeah, you know what, I'm behind that. There wasn't a ton, but there was some, and I'm willing to say that. And so, like, that is ultimately how you have to do it. Like, we are not we are more our fealty is to the king and to broad truth. More than it is to any other political party. And so you call balls and strikes as the best you can. But we don't just say, well, they're all strikes because they're my man, because you don't have a man. Mm-hmm. That's just the nature of the beast.
I would much rather people hate me because of Jesus than because of a political dude.
Exactly.
Or gal, whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, and we're doing both these days.
Yes.
Some are. Some people are.
All right, here we go.
I'm just lovable.
We're moving right along. Dan keeps people happy with him.
I'm happy.
Okay.
And now, for America's fastest growing game show, Secular or Solomon?
And you've wandered into America's fastest growing internet game show, Secular versus Solomon. In case you've forgotten, let me give you the premise of the game. I'm going to give you a proverb, a bit of wisdom, okay? And you're going to tell me whether that is a biblical bit of wisdom or whether that is creeping in from the world trying to poison your mind, okay? Secular or Solomon. Now, here's the thing. If we find that it's a worldly bit of wisdom, if it's secular wisdom, we need to know where this nefariousness is coming from. And so I want a country of origin. I want to know who's responsible. Em, are you submitting Ruskies across the board?
I was just saying, does it have to necessarily
No, that's true, I guess. They're not all...
be good advice?
No, that's true. It could be good advice. It may not be nefarious. But I mean, it really plays
It
for
secretly is, though.
it plays for the crowd when it's bad advice.
$5 is going to be from Ukraine.
Okay. Oh. Wait, is that you taking the bet?
Yeah, so if it's not from Ukraine,
Okay. All right, got
Deal.
it. Hey, man, I didn't know there was any side action on the secular versus Solomon game.
I'm taking the bookies.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Number one is going to start with Dan. Secular or Solomon. The beginning of health is to know the disease. The beginning of health is to know the disease. Secular or Solomon.
I'm going to call that secular Christianity Today.
You can't even go one round without violating the rules, Dan.
I was waiting for this moment. Could you repeat that? Because I was so excited about the opportunity.
I already had the gun loaded. I had no choice.
I had to shoot.
The beginning of health is to know the disease. Secular or Solomon.
Okay, I'm still going secular, but I'm gonna. This is really too difficult for me because all I can think of are healthy places. If a cruise ship is in foreign waters, does that count as a foreign country?
If you can
Carnival cruises.
If you can tell me who owns the foreign water, sure.
Okay, is the Carnival cruises in Italy?
Okay, Italian cruise ship. Yes. At the beginning of health is to know the disease. All right, secular or Solomon. Ella, you got to get up to the microphone. Secular or Solomon. Oh boy.
I have no idea.
Okay. All right, Layla, do you have one? Got to get up to the microphone.
Hey, you're making me look good. That's bad.
Secular or Solomon. Secular for what country?
Russia.
Secular Russia. All right, secular or Solomon. Emma.
secular.
What country? Secular from Yemen.
Yemen.
The Yemenis.
Love it.
Okay.
Yemen ice cream.
Grace. Secular or Solomon.
I'm going to go with secular, and I'm liking this Italian cruise ship thing that Dan had.
Oh, listen to
Have you
this
seen
now.
the articles? I mean,
Out goes the bait and the reel.
Yes. The beginning of of health is to know the disease. Secular Solomon. Mike.
I'm going to go with secular, and it's an Asian country. Taiwan.
Oh, man.
careful.
That's going to come off wrong. Which country has diseases?
Shoot. I inadvertently am a boob.
I mean, now, in your defense, any country is going to fall under this problem.
No, true. Madagascar.
Yeah, okay. Okay, here we go. The beginning of health is to know the disease. It is secular Spain.
Nailed it.
Spain.
That is so close to Italy.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
And Russia.
Hey,
And Russia.
you don't get any points for being cahoots with Dan. You hear me?
You're on a cruise ship. You probably do both.
Who takes a cruise ship to Italy?
Hey, yeah, the cruise ship could technically
Italians.
be anywhere.
Why would the Italians
It's
take
just
a cruise ship to
owned
their own
by
country?
Italians.
Secular or
Be on
Solomon.
this point.
Okay.
Here we go. Bald people can always find a comb. Bald people can always find a comb. Secular or Solomon. Ella, play the dozens. Ella.
Why am I starting instead of Dan?
We go one person next to every round.
Yeah,
You're
everyone-
not in charge of the game, Ella. Just answer the question.
Solomon.
Okay,
Okay.
Solomon.
Good, good.
Layla. Bald people can always find a comb. Potentially Solomon.
Secular.
Secular from what country?
Italy.
Solid.
Secular Italy. Layla owns one instrument. She's going to bang that drum. Emma, secular Solomon.
Secular Egypt.
Secular Egypt. Is that,
They shaved their head.
oh, I see. Okay, all right. Grace,
Actually do.
secular Solomon.
As much as I want it to be Solomon, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go with Solomon.
Okay, all right. The entire Pleasantville
crazy
Foos
stuff in the
family
Bible.
is in for
Now
Solomon.
listen, you can't will it to be in the Bible. You can't hope it's in there and then guess and then now it's in there. The question is whether it's in there currently or not.
I mean, we've read the Bible. I mean, there's some crazy stuff in there.
All right.
I mean, she has a point,
Man
Mike.
can always find a toothbrush.
Wait, hold on. The only reason I hesitated on mine
Have
was
you read
because I
Secular?
forgot what both of those words mean.
Oh, okay.
I hesitated. And
All
I
right,
just
that's
said
fair.
one. I did too.
Okay.
Wait,
We both forgot what those mean. I don't think we were paying attention really.
Okay, secular means it's not in the Bible. Solomon means that it's in Proverbs or in the Bible in general. Okay, so do you want to stick with your Bible answer, Ella?
Hold on.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
'Cause I don't know.
Okay. Bald people can always find a comb. Probably Solomon. Emma, what you were in with secular Egypt.
Grace was also Solomon.
Solid, Mike.
The fruits of my loin. Way to go. I'm going to go secular and Mediterranean. Greece.
Secular Greece, Dan.
Yeah, it's secular. They're finding things they don't need. They're bald. They're finding combs.
Yep,
Right. So
yep.
where else would that be? But like Bosnia.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Absolutely.
a slam dunk.
Yes.
Yeah,
Your
Yes, bald
reasoning
people
is
love
solid,
combs
Dan.
and
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, but have you guys seen the I Am Robot movie with Will Smith in it?
No.
No.
There's people arguing with these really intelligent robots, and ultimately the robots decide that humans are a risk to themselves, and so they're subjugating them. And at the end, the robot goes basically, "My logic cannot be denied," and that's what I think every time Dan gives an answer. I think
That robot is really strange then.
I do, and I think of that robot going, "You know what? My logic cannot be denied."
I mean, your logic obviously can't be denied either.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, bald people can always find a comb. It is indeed secular Thailand.
Yeah, Mediterranean.
Honestly, I was going to say that.
Mediterranean?
It's close.
Oh, it's on the other side of
Seriously, Dan?
Definitely not Solomon, though. Hey?
Okay, here we go. Secular or Solomon.
We're
If
going to
you
have to do Bible study twice a week.
if you are wise for yourself. If you scoff, you alone will bear it. If you are wise for yourself. If you scoff, you alone will bear it. Secular or Solomon. Layla.
Solomon.
Layla's in for Solomon. Emma.
Solomon.
Emma's in any particular reason? No, you just think it smells like Solomon.
Yeah.
Okay, Grace.
Solomon.
Okay, Grace in for Solomon. Mike.
Solomon.
Solomon. Dan.
El Solomundo.
Man, that has a Solomon sound to it, but there's also a ring of selfishness. It's like your wisdom is all about you, so
It does sound a little. It's a Lady Gaga-ish. You are wise for yourself.
where's she from?
Why would it
Pittsburgh.
Why would it be Lady Gaga-ish?
I'm gonna say South America.
Okay, Dan chose a continent.
I mean, okay, I spoke before my head narrowed down. We're gonna just stick with that.
All right, you know what? Mike deals out the points. If he gets it right, you're gonna have to deal with him. But
No problem.
I'm accepting South America at the moment.
Okay.
Ella.
Everybody chose like Solomon, then I'm choosing secular.
Oh man, she's
That's
bucking
good
the trend.
reasoning.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Only because everybody kept picking that one. That's the only reason.
And you think okay. Wait, now do you have a country? I mean, Dan chose secular.
Yeah. The wrong
ruins
boat
everything.
came by
Oops.
and you jumped on.
Okay, are you secular still?
Yeah.
Okay, what country?
Yeah.
Secular India.
Okay.
Accepted. Also potentially a continent, but also a country. She's on better footing, Dan. Okay, if you are wise for yourself. If you scoff, you alone will bear it. It is indeed Solomon, Proverbs 9:12.
That was his dark days.
Yes. Go ahead, Ella. Just you and Dan on the boat then.
Yeah, this is dark days for me and Dan. We're on a ship with
Goodbye,
ghosts.
wrong boat. I didn't vote.
Dark days.
I mean, you speak of the wrong boat like it's a cruise ship. It's probably just like a little canoe.
Came from
It's a
Italy.
rickety shanty.
Yeah, an Italy canoe.
All right, here we
That's all
go.
the Germans are.
Secular or Solomon. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Secular or Solomon. Emma in the microphone.
Secular Ireland.
Secular Ireland. Grace.
I shall do secular Germany.
Secular Germany.
Irish got some pretty had to take.
Yeah, they had to remind themselves to be diligent.
They probably got that reminder from Solomon.
Or the
Have you
German.
been to Germany? It has like snow
You've
and
been to Germany?
no.
All right, pick it up in the
Alright,
diaries,
we're
ladies.
both in the wrong here.
Mike.
Solomon.
Solomon. Dan.
Solomon 14. Chapter 14 of Proverbs, verse 12.
Giving the old boova.
He's-
Picking a specific chapter only to be
14:12.
Dan's going with the foot in the mouth protocol that Boova does.
Someone's got to take that place.
All right, Ella.
Repeat what you said.
Okay,
I
you got
forgot.
it. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich.
What's the proverb mean, Ben?
Slack hand, so like a lazy hand, a lazy worker gets basically what's coming to him is impoverished or is not very rich. But the hand of the diligent, the person who commits to his work, obviously gets wealth from it.
Solomon.
Okay, Ella's in for Solomon.
I was confident.
Yeah.
Layla.
Secular Italy.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
I broke a string. Hang on.
I love the pizza.
Lila is now climbing onto the canoe.
Okay, here we go. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. It is indeed Solomon. Proverbs 10:4. Good buddy.
Oh, almost 14.
I did
10-4.
Solomon.
I'm always been an overachiever.
Does it count if I said Solomon?
You did not say Solomon.
Oh, I thought I.
Yeah.
Oh, you
she
did
said
say Solomon.
America.
Yes, of course it counts.
I'm like, I thought I did. I'm like,
Congratulations,
wait, why did
Ella.
I say that then?
Yeah, she's in.
Your
I
well
did
thought out answer
something.
and biblical knowledge is beyond precedent.
Yay, I did something.
All right, here we go. Secular or Solomon. You can say anything to a man with a full stomach. You can say anything to a man with a full stomach. Secular or Solomon. Grace Foost.
Secular England.
Secular England. There's all kinds of well-fed fellas in England who can be convinced to do anything. Mike.
Secular, Kenya.
Secular Kenya. Dan.
Kenya?
Yeah. Steal that one, Dan.
This screams Italy. Pasta. But
It's a trap, Dan.
I'm tempted to go Solomon.
Wrong direction.
I'm jumping out of the canoe for just a moment. I'm going to say Solomon.
Dan's in for Solomon.
You left me.
The toilets don't work.
You can go off the side. Ella. You can say anything to a man with a full stomach.
Yes, I'm saying that is secular.
Secular, and from what country?
America.
Secular America. Layla Foost.
Solomon.
Layla's in for Solomon. Emma.
Secular Greece.
Secular Greece.
Yeah.
Salads.
Big stomach, grease.
Here we go. You can say anything to a man with a full stomach. Now, I think that there's multiple ways of how you could take that. I originally thought it was you can harass him because he's bloated. He's ate too much and cannot do anything about it. Like you could say, "I hate your mustache, Fred," and he's like, "Boy, I'm too full to do anything about this."
Yeah.
And so he just sits there because he's lazy. Or because he's so happy, because he's so full,
Yeah.
you can ask anything and he'll give it.
That's how I was taking it.
Okay.
He's happy
He's fat and
and
happy.
fat, so he can't do anything, and he doesn't.
Okay, he's just sitting up in the glory days.
And if he could, he wouldn't care.
He wouldn't care. Okay. All right. You can say anything to a man with a full stomach. It is secular Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Did I get it right again? Forgot my answer.
No, I believe you, Solomon.
No, I think. No, I
You
think
said
I-
secular America.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty close to Jamaica, actually. Closer than Kenya, like I guessed.
All right. Here we go. Secular or Solomon. Mike. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death.
Boy, just get out the old Solomon pipe. A poppity. Solomon.
Solomon with a series of embellishments. Damn.
Does it speak to whether Solomon smoked pipe? Was that commonplace?
To be a pipe smoker?
Yeah, like back in the whatever the day. What did they do for recreational smoking? Was it
They didn't
hashish?
have time to recreate. They were working.
Not Solomon, was it?
Sloth.
Solomon went and played
Yes,
yield
Lord.
golf.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he was just sitting down with
And music.
a full stomach.
The music.
Someone was writing it down.
Okay. It's a sidebar.
He was
Not
probably smoking. All right, Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going Solomon.
Solomon. Ella.
Solomon.
Solomon. Little Bird.
Solomon.
Solomon. Emma.
Solomon, Proverbs 19.
Boy,
Emma,
the buva catches on like a virus.
Emma puts a foot in the train tracks. Grace.
I'm gonna go with Solomon.
Solomon. That's Solomon. Let's get around to Solomon. For riches do not profit in the day of wrath, meaning you can provide all the earthly wealth, and it means nothing next to the wrath. But righteousness delivers from death, and that is indeed Solomon. Proverbs 11:4.
Nailed it.
So close.
Stop guessing the chapters, Emma.
I still got it right.
Everybody in here got it right.
Yay! We should all just congratulate each other.
I say
Nice
we
job,
have a
everybody.
party.
Bella.
Yeah, there's not enough positive reinforcement in this room, Ben.
Woo!
Everybody
I
give
blame
some. Everybody give the person next to you a big pat on the back.
Yeah, that's a little far.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, once it extends to physical affection,
Yeah.
I.
You gotta
This is
do
why I
like
sit
a
by
pat
myself.
brigade. Like, if someone would pat me, then I would.
Did you say a pat brigade?
Yeah. Like Dan could pat me on the shoulder, I would just bet her.
Hey, man.
That is a first for life in the past.
It got
It
all
would
the way
keep
over to me.
going.
This Pat Brigade's making me uncomfortable.
That'll be that's the title of
Touch Ben,
this
Mike.
week's show, episode 36, the Pat Brigade.
I'm not touching Ben.
No.
He's my twin
I don't-
brother. I ain't touched him in 20 years.
I won't be touched. Nope. All right, secular or Solomon. Dan, all cassavas have the same skins, but not all taste the same. All cassavas have the same skins, but not all taste the same. Secular or Solomon.
That's got to be
Question:
Kuwait,
what does
secular.
cassavas mean?
Anybody want to venture a guess at a cassava?
Fruit.
Yeah, well, it's a
A fancy drink.
well, fair enough. I hope you don't ever order a drink with skin in it.
No skin, please.
No skin this time.
Chicken,
I'd
not
like the
stirred.
skin glass.
No skin.
It's a root. It's a root.
Oh.
A root from Kuwait.
Dan says Kuwait, secular Kuwait. All cassavas have the same skins, but not all taste the same. Ella. Excellent. From what country?
Ethiopia. Does that count?
Yeah, it is a country.
It's a country. It's acceptable.
Okay.
Layla.
Secular. India.
Secular India.
Good.
Emma.
Secular Thailand.
Secular Thailand. Grace.
Secular and that bunch of islands that's kind of near Australia.
New Zealand.
No, not New Zealand. That place just has sheep. No wisdom. I'm looking for.
And no roots.
The Balkan Islands.
It's East Indies. That's what I wanted.
Okay.
I was wanting the East Indies. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him.
Just in the
Mike.
Caribbean.
I'm throwing it back on my lack of geography skills. I'm gonna go secular and Bali.
All cassavas have the same skins, but not all taste the same. Which, I mean, it's just a warning. You might be getting a bag of goods. I think.
That's it.
That sound right?
Like how to participate in a farmer's market.
Just
really.
because, here's the deal. You might look down the road and you say, boy, that looks like a nice person. And maybe one of them is nice. But someone also looks like a nice person, and they're very cruel. And they're biters.
Now hold on. Do you find that just by the appearance of a person, you can kind of tell whether they're a nice person or not?
Here's the thing. I don't know, because people that I think look mean, I don't check. I say they look mean. I'm not going over there.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like you can read a cover of a magazine that says Christianity Today and think that's probably going to be good.
Only to
no.
find out it's liberal swill.
Yeah. So the question is, can you judge a book by its cover? This bit of wisdom says, if all the covers look the same, just know that it don't mean everything's the same. Like sometimes that part you ordered from Taiwan, it wasn't from. It's not the AC Delco.
Yeah, actually, so I've had this happen before. It's like let's say your HVAC heating and service man comes out, right? And he's got tools on and a sweet van, and he's like, yeah, don't worry, we got this handled. And then 3 hours later, you're helping him do it because he's got it so jumbled up that it's just beyond repair. And he's got out 3 rolls of tape and has made, 50 rounds of tape around my furnace. And I thought, just because they give you that van does not necessarily mean that you are an expert HVAC man.
Yeah.
So
This
I'm going to
doesn't sound
say,
hypothetical at all.
oh no, it really happened to me. And he was the super nicest guy, but boy, did he have this thing crooked. I mean, it was messed up bad. It was very pedestrian. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to go no. You cannot judge a book by its cover. I submit.
You could paint Italian cruise ship on the side of a canoe, but once you get in, it's still the wrong canoe. So.
Oh, Dan,
Yeah.
That gets
burn
me every time.
Burn, Dan. Okay. All cassavas have the same skins, but not all taste the same. That is secular Kenya.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Kenya.
I feel like I guessed Kenya once today, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
I feel like it's a lottery. Like, I can't name the same country twice. And
it's
then
not
I always
close.
miss out on being right.
That's what Layla's gone with the opposite. She says, I'm going to say Italy till it shows up.
Italy every time.
One question.
Yeah.
If somebody else says something and I agree, can I say
Yeah, that's allowed.
yes?
I think just she only asked that question so she could copy me.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Actually, I was
Preemptive
thinking
strike.
about copying Emma because she has good ideas. Sometimes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Wow.
I don't
There's
know.
a
I
palpable
said
hue in this room.
sometimes.
I don't know what's going on over here.
I don't either.
I don't know if this is in line with the Pat Brigade or not. All right, 2 more. Here we go. Where there are no oxen, the manger is clean, but abundant crops come by the strength of the ox. Where there are no oxen, the manger is clean, but abundant crops come by the strength of the ox. Secular or Solomon. Ella. Goes in a circle.
There's something about a manger in there?
Yes.
Secular or Solomon?
I was thinking. Secular.
Secular. Okay, for what country?
Australia.
Secular Australia. Layla. Secular or Solomon.
Solomon.
Solomon. Emma.
Can I ask a question first?
I will give you as much information as I have.
You have any
Where was
eyes?
the Bible first translated? England, right?
No.
Oh, where?
No, I mean, it was
Germany.
No.
No.
That's where it first published, was printed.
Thinking of Gutenberg.
Like translated to English.
Oh, yeah, translated English, yeah.
England?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going secular England.
You think there's a translation issue in here?
Well, they said manger, and I feel like that's the only place besides in the Bible I've ever heard manger. So
I
apparently
mean, these aren't
you
bad
guys-
thoughts, Ben.
Yeah, okay, I mean, okay, that's reasonable. I get where you're
And
coming
they
from.
got oxen and farms and.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Grace.
I mean, from what I've gathered, this is saying that oxen are bad, but also oxen are great.
Yes.
By saying oxen will mess up your stable, but also they get your food.
Yeah. So you could reasonably put kids in here and be the same. Where there are no kids, the house is clean, but abundant chores come by the many of the children.
I am very offended by that.
I don't know why.
Put the word chores in there, so that kind of set her off.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to specialize in the idle hands thing, or what was it? The slack hands. That's more my speed.
He also said that kids make the house dirty. Sometimes Arlo does,
Okay.
not me.
Okay,
Could
noted.
have called you an ox there, but I'm not sure.
Okay, Grace, you said
All right, we'll go with secular Israel.
Yeah.
Israel. Mike.
I'm gonna go secular and Turkey.
Secular Turkish.
Wait, hold on. Is that how you pronounce Israel?
Only if you're singing that one song.
How do you think
Israel.
how do you think it's pronounced?
I have no idea. That's why I asked.
Oh, okay.
Israel.
Fair.
Yeah, okay.
Israel.
It's Israel.
Okay, all right, we can settle
pronouncing
this.
it wrong.
This is where we need an Alexa that would settle this. Dan.
Okay, I'm gonna go Solomon, and I'm gonna go. It's got to be chapter 28,
Ooh,
verse
Dan.
4.
Went back in the back.
We're in the
No
back-
one gets
back
that
end.
far. They say I'm gonna read through the Proverbs this month, and then they stop at 16.
He ran out of ideas, looked out the window and saw some oxen, and said, "Yes,
Yes. And he's like a man on a tirade. And another thing.
that place would be so much cleaner without oxen." Write that down.
But they are doing work in the field.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
I don't think this one's any good. I'm gonna write it down anyway. I'll get rid of it later.
Split it with the semicolon and call it a day. All right, so where there are no oxen, the manger is clean, but abundant crops come by the strength of the ox. It is Solomon, Proverbs 14:4.
I was off by 10.
Also, I don't think an Alexa would actually be helpful here because she pronounces food wrong unless you spell it with 2 O's.
Okay,
So
noted.
She might just pronounce things.
I've never tried to cajole the Alexa
Wrong.
to use my last name correctly.
Wrong. The Google Home pronounces it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, noted. We'll sort that out. All right, final answer. Everybody ready? All right, here the chickens come home to roost. Layla, this one's for you. Too clever is stupid. Too clever is stupid. Secular or Solomon? Layla.
Secular. Do I have to guess?
Yeah.
America.
Okay, secular America. Emma, too clever is stupid.
Secular America, probably during the 1776.
Hey, here's the thing. This is the wrong one to try to be clever. Isn't it? Isn't it? All right. Emma's given a specific time frame. Too clever is stupid. Grace.
I'm gonna go with secular. This does not sound like a country. This sounds like an individual person located within this room. I feel like this knowledge came from one of you.
Okay, again, when the too clever is stupid proverb is on the table, and you two, Marx brothers over here, are going to fire up something clever. Mike.
I don't even know how to spell clever, Ben. I'm going to go secular and Russia.
Secular Russia. Dan.
I'm going secular. And I'm gonna go India. I'm not feeling it, but India.
Okay. It's like the same reason you choose India for lunch.
Right.
It's not sitting
got the
well,
curry thing.
but you're going to end up there. Okay.
Hey.
I'm with you.
Okay, now this is going to reveal something about me, but like, is Nepal, that's a different country than India, right? It's not a town in India, right? When people say, let's go to the Nepalese restaurant, that is a country, right?
This is why we need an Alexa. I think it's a separate country.
I couldn't tell you.
I know, and I'm not, is a diverse geography, let's see, multi-ethnic country with Nepali as the official language, yeah.
Yeah.
Country in South Asia.
Okay, yeah, nailed it. Good.
Okay, good.
Well then, now I'll look smarter in my next conversation opposed to this one.
All right, we're
Hey,
going to
you
go.
have to be too clever.
Right, no problem.
Ella, finally, too clever is stupid. Secular Solomon.
Secular only because I use that phrase so many. Instead of two heads.
Oh, sorry, too like T-O-O. Like you are, if you're trying to be too clever, you end up looking ridiculous.
Oh wait, then Solomon.
Yeah.
Mine.
Clear reasoning.
I
Is
mean, hey,
Bethlehem a country?
too clever.
No.
Stupid.
Darn it!
Oh yeah. The two Marx brothers go TWO clever over here in this side of the room.
Egypt.
Okay, secular Egypt. Here we go. This was the final one. We'll see how it go. Take this, Martin Lewis. Too clever is stupid. Secular Germany.
Dang it.
Yay! I was the only one who got it right.
I said secular.
Oh.
I said secular.
I said secular.
No, you guys both got discounted.
Oh, man. Here's the deal.
Listen. Alexander Hamilton was alive 1760 or what 76 or whatever it's called in 1700.
Yeah.
He was very blunt. So I assumed this sounds very blunt to me. And it must have come from him.
You assume that of the millions of people that have come and gone on this earth since between 1750 and say today, that this must have originated with Alexander Hamilton?
Yes.
You're right. That's totally reasonable. All right, clocking
Somebody
in.
like him.
A marathon of a secular Solomon. I grew a second beard looking for this thing to be over. That's Mike. What was the final tally?
Final tally was, it turns out that Layla was the winner with 45 points. Ella came in a close second with 32. Dan was a close third with 12. And Emma and Grace both had a negative 15.
Oh, man, that's rough.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And they're older than us.
I know. Can you believe how this shit's
By
shaking out?
3 years.
Huh?
What'd
They
you
should
have?
know
Yeah,
more.
I'm the
And
overall winner, but I like to make other people feel,
And Emma, I'm
feel
surprised.
good about themselves.
Haven't you been watching Live from the Past?
Yeah. What about all your
I have. And I
Seriously, Emma?
Mike's
I guess.
honest
Points.
scorekeeping?
point
Sometimes.
scorekeeping is completely random.
What?
We could say the same for youth group too.
What do you mean?
No Christianity today.
Yeah. Okay, you
All
ready
right,
for some
yeah.
Dear Live from the
Let's
Past?
get some advice. Did you guys just pull off like a major high five?
We already did that, but we did it again.
Okay, right on. I'm with you. All right, Mike. Wait, let's deal out some advice and call this a day.
Okay, Dear Live from the Path. My husband and I are retired and financially comfortable. I have my spending money and he has his. The problem is, he doesn't want me to spend any money on my granddaughter. I pick her up from school every day, give her an afternoon snack, and on Friday we stop and get something special. My husband thinks my daughter should pay for my gas and provide snacks for the child. I disagree. I love doing things for my granddaughter and buying things for her once in a while. When I do, he goes nuts, packs up his clothes and goes to his camp. After a few days, he will call. Holy cow.
I'm sorry, what?
I have lived with this behavior all our married life, 55 years. He has fussed so many times and made me so depressed I just want to die. He says he loves me, but I wonder. If he loved me, he would want me to be happy. Oh, that's a dangerous statement. Doing things with my granddaughter and getting her pretty things every now and then because it makes me happy. I don't go out and get my hair or nails done. I don't drink or smoke, and we don't go out to eat at expensive restaurants. His complaining is driving me crazy, and I can't live like this anymore. She's 10 and growing up so fast. All I want to do is enjoy her the little while I have left. Any advice?
It's his granddaughter too, right?
I mean, assuming they've been married 55 years, yeah.
I mean, and he's just upset that she's buying her the girl snacks.
I guess it's. I mean, I'm guessing like it's a standard grandma deal where like they come to her house after school, and then on Friday she picks her up from school, takes her out to get some ice cream or whatever, and then gets the weekend fired up.
So I'm assuming the grandma's like intention. She wants to pick up.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's a forced deal.
Well, then there's no reason for the mom to have to want to.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna go drive to the movie theater.
Yeah, I mean, it seems slightly over the top. To be honest, the grandpa seems over the top anyway, right?
Yeah, are they like super poor or?
Which is not how she explained it. She said, "My husband and I are retired and financially comfortable. I have my spending money and he has his." He just seems to be upset when she spends her money on the granddaughter.
So it's not even his.
Well,
it's her. Well, it's his, but it's like her spending.
Yeah, right. So, like, if you were to have your mom and dad split up their extra funds after the bills are paid and say, look, each of you get $50 until we get paid again, you know, and, like, if she spends her $50 on the granddaughter and old Groucho over there is like, I can't believe you're spending money on the granddaughter, bibbity-bibbity. He seems way out of line here.
Yeah, I agree.
So her question is, do you have any advice here? Because, like, I mean, they've been married for 55 years. Obviously, he's prone to throwing a temper tantrum, leaving the house, and calling later after he's done sulking.
Boy, that's way overdone.
Way overdone.
Okay, so I think
Okay.
next time that this go up and talk, why are you acting?
I mean, that's right to the point.
I'm just caring for my grandma. Just caring.
And he says she's a disease that takes money from us.
Then you say,
Well,
would
that's
you
just
prefer if
mean.
I bought you a Happy Meal too?
That's just mean.
Give him the old razzle dazzle. Yeah. Why don't I send a pizza to your camp, Harold?
And also, like, he should join in on the fun. Like, so he could spend some time with granddaughter. It doesn't really seem like he actually cares for their granddaughter, because every time that the grandma spends time with the granddaughter, then he just packs up and goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But
He's a meanie.
So, I just don't. So at the end of the day, though, they still have to work. They have to work this out. They're married, right? And so, like, this isn't any reason to split up. So she has to figure out how she's gonna react in this situation and deal with her husband. So, can you control the actions of somebody else? Can you make the grandpa stop acting in this ridiculous way?
No, you can't. You can't, but you can at least talk to him about it. I know, like, you might be able to change him, but you can't control him, really.
Agreed?
You, like, can't control what he does.
So what if he refuses to stop acting like this? Should the grandma change the way that she interacts with the granddaughter?
I mean,
I like the way that she's interacting with the granddaughter. But
Because
maybe
you're the
just...
granddaughter in the situation. You're getting ice cream.
Oh, I'm happy then. Whenever I
like-
eat sugar, I'm happy.
gotta, like, even if the grandpa's being silly, you're gonna have to make a compromise. Like, trying to communicate logically with a, like, unreasonable person never works out. So you say, hey, I'll do it. We'll just do it 3 days a week. 2 other days we won't do it. And then Friday will still be special, but then it will be, and then you do that. And then slowly, if he gets angry, he goes, or he's not angry, he says, okay, 2 days less, that's fine. And then a couple months later, he's still fine with it. You say, hey, do you realize the error of your ways? And then you add on another day.
Yeah. Okay, so back it down. Try to, even if he's being unreasonable, you try to make some kind of compromise and see if that fixes the situation, and then maybe rehab the conversation once that's settled in with him. Yeah, that seems reasonable to me.
I mean, who is he to be angry at? It's the grandmother's extra spending money. I mean, who is he to be mad at it?
It does seem odd that they've already come with a preconceived, here's how we're going to split up the money, and then he's actually, the reason you split up the money is you go, look, I don't care what you do, because I don't want you to care what I do. And so, like, that's the reason you would do something like that. But he is getting angry over stuff that's not within his bounds. The guy's just, it seems, the way she's telling the story, he's completely unreasonable.
I think he's angry at the granddaughter's parents.
Oh.
And he doesn't know how to handle that.
Okay, so that sounds way more reasonable.
And he's taking it out on her because he doesn't seem to be mad that she's spending money anywhere else, but she's not really spending a lot of money anywhere. She doesn't get her hair done. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink, whatever stuff she said there.
Okay, so
it's the daughter issue. It's the child. There's something there.
Yeah. So from what Dan's getting at is to say that, like, let's say because it's their granddaughter, right? That the parents of the kid, instead of picking their child up after school every day, taking them out for something fun on Friday, let's say that they're wasting their money on themselves, right? Like they're buying new clothes for themselves or spending all their money on dogs and horses and TPs and ridiculous things, right? Instead of spending it on their child. So could you see how the dad, the grandpa, could be going, look, these are all things that the parents are supposed to be doing, and we're having to spend our money on it. The granddaughter deserves it, but their parents aren't doing it. So Dan is basically saying, do you feel like maybe that's why the dad is angry, the grandpa is angry?
Oh, yeah, I see the error now.
So, but does that excuse him for acting like a grown temper tantrum doofus?
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not.
No.
And she has to, and the wife has to figure out a way to deal with it.
It doesn't. Well, if it is that he's mad at the parents, then it doesn't seem like he's said anything about it. Like, did he talk to them and say, hey, you should be spending this money yourself?
Yes.
And I mean, it still seems fine that the grandma's spending it. Like, my grandma buys me stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Or she's like, hey, here's a jar of candy on my counter. Want some?
like a weird
yes.
Hansel and Gretel.
Like, yeah.
And so, like, that's what grandmas do. But I feel like if he thinks that the parents should be doing it as well, maybe he should say that.
So all could be solved with some straightforward conversation type stuff.
I feel like he's not expressing his
we have a feelings corner at our house where I like to send the cat when he's acting up. And I say, you go to your feelings corner until
you always
keep
send the cat. You always
That's just
send him
because
there,
you don't like
even
cats.
when
He's a terrible cat. Much
even
like
when
this man.
he's happy, you always send him
He's
there.
a terrible cat.
All right.
Like
Let's see
the
what
cat.
Secular says. Secular says, after 55 years of tolerating your husband's temper tantrums and controlling behavior, I seriously doubt you're going to get him to change. You can, however, change the way you react to it. If you have money of your own, he does not have the right to tell you how to spend it. Let him go camping, and while he's gone, enjoy your time with your granddaughter. If he, quotes, goes nuts, which I assume becomes verbally abusive, leave the room. I didn't really think that. Ask yourself whether you are better off with this man or without him. And if you truly cannot live like this anymore, talk to an attorney and explore your options. Wow. Secular basically says, look, if he's not going to stop this, you need to divorce him.
Bad choice.
That seems...
I agree.
Doesn't that seem the same amount of overreacting he's doing? You're just joining the pool of overreaction?
But this is a difficult question. This is basically a one-on-one question because on one hand, if you divorce him, then you can sorry.
So if you have one disagreement in your life with your spouse, I don't like the way that you are taking our granddaughter out. Is that a good reason for a couple to get a divorce?
No, but I feel like he's overreacting.
Agreed.
Really badly overreacting.
Agreed, but don't you feel like divorce is a bit of an overreaction? So you're doing the same thing. Like she's basically suggesting that the wife do the same thing and completely overreact. It's just one part of your marriage. And marriage is made up of every minute of every day. This is just one situation of which, you're willing to put the axe to the tree and go, I'm done.
But hasn't this happened their whole marriage?
Well, I think they're making an assumption there. Yeah, but probably.
Yeah, so, but Layla, I think that begs the same question, though. Is that like, you're married to someone and you're with them all the time and they do 1,000 things. If there's one thing or even 5 things to do, you're like, oh man, this is just, I don't love this. Still, in the grand scheme of things, if the marriage is otherwise okay, is it just something you got to figure out how to deal with? Like our other advice notwithstanding, right? Like that you still need to talk to this person, but like, is there? Let's say that this persisted and he was not able to make any progress. Is that a good reason to say, look, our marriage is off? Even if Emma says no. Yeah, I think you got to figure it out.
I mean, it's just one thing. Like, Layla's like, we both have $10. Buys a candy bar, and I'm like, really, Layla? Candy bar? That's no reason to say, hey, you're not my sister.
That's right. I hate the candy bars that you buy. We're done.
Right.
You got a
You always
payday?
buy
You could have had
candy
a
bars, and
Snickers.
it just makes me so mad every time you buy candy bars. I'm going on a camping trip, so I don't have to see your candy bars.
In that perspective, it does sound ridiculous.
I got her Christmas present with that $10.
Oh, well, that was very nice of you. Okay, let's do one more. Ready?
Was it a candy bar?
Yeah. Did you buy her a candy bar?
No.
A payday.
Ready? Dear Life from the Past. Man, my husband and I have a friend of 35 years. We'll call him Hank.
Hey, Hank.
Hank had an accident 3 months ago.
Cool.
His vehicle was totaled, and he has been depending on us to take him grocery shopping and to various appointments. When we take him, he often adds additional stops without asking ahead of time, which turns a quick trip into a marathon shopping excursion. We still work part-time while Hank is retired. He is procrastinating about buying another vehicle, citing various reasons why he can't find the right one, and we are becoming exhausted from driving him around. We have mentioned several times that he needs to get a vehicle. His response is, it's not easy. We feel sad that our friendship has taken this turn. We have tried to be as helpful as possible, but our patience is wearing thin. What do you suggest?
Can't he just call an Uber?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
I know.
Call an Uber, Hank.
Yeah, you ever think of that?
But still,
What do you know about an Uber?
I know that they come pick you up.
My dad used to drive him a
Oh,
lot.
Yeah, I mean, twice. I went out on the town twice.
You did it more than twice.
No, I know, it was just twice. Yeah, so answering from the other side, the question is if you decide to help people, does that mean you're on the hook for everything that somebody wants?
No.
No, right? So, like, draw a line. Say, look, here's what I got. I got half an hour. I can get you to this place and this place. If you got anything else, you're going to have to find another means to do it. And he says, oh, well, but we're already out. I know, but I got other stuff to do. Here's what I can do.
yeah, but doesn't this speak to what you say a lot? Is you can only be disappointed when you have preconceived expectations,
Agreed.
right? Like when you went to pick up the guy, you thought, oh, we're just going to the store and back, and then he decides you're going to go 5 places. If you'd have thought on your way there, oh, he's probably going to want to go like 5 places, then you wouldn't be upset. You just take him to the 5 places.
Yeah, I agree. So there's 2 ways to stop that, though. Either you throw all your expectations out the window, or you set reasonable expectations, right? And then you can't be disappointed because you were clear on what you expected. Or like when you go to it the first time and he says, hey, I got 2 other places to stop, think to yourself, well, I suppose I didn't ask ahead of time, so, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't you just say, well, so I'll drive you around for an hour. Get what you in an hour. Over an hour, then I'm just
Yeah.
like, couldn't you just like set a time limit? And
Yeah.
So even if he's in the store getting avocados, the hour rings up, you just drive out. That's it,
also,
Hank. I'm done.
Since he's retired, you can get back into jobs, so you can just get another job.
Oh, you fill up your own schedule so you don't have time to take Hank around.
But
Yeah.
he's retired. He can get a.
Did you say yeah?
I don't know.
Come on, Hank.
I don't know how old he is, but still, you can get another job if you don't have a car anymore. Get another job.
So Hank didn't cite not having enough money as the reason to buy a car. He's just not buying a car.
It's convenient, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you sign up to be an Uber driver and get paid for it?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have a car.
he gets a free car.
I mean, the friend. He's calling his friend all the time and say, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
I'll
that's
take you.
true.
He
The
gets a
friend
free car.
should
You
be
have
an
the
Uber
app?
driver and make Hank get a hold of him through the app.
Yeah.
And he's his only customer. That's a great idea.
Or you can be like, hey, I know we were just planning to go to the Walmart, but if you really want to go to the Sugar Shack, we can go to the Sugar Shack, as long as you get me a shake.
Oh, bribery.
Get me a shake,
Yeah.
and we'll go to the Sugar
Emma
Shack.
says, so I'll do it, but you got to grease the wheels. You got to make it worth my
Do about
while.
anything for ice cream.
We can go to Target, but it's gonna be $5 extra.
Yeah. Tip
Just
the driver.
act like it's an Uber without having to be an Uber.
Here's the thing: it's going to start to feel petty when you pick up this disabled man and you take him to the grocery
He's not
store.
disabled.
Yeah, he just said
He
he's
just
retired.
He wasn't
said-
hurt in the accident.
Just his car was broken.
Just his car.
Oh,
It's
He
just hard to buy a
retired.
car.
Didn't it say he was
Yeah, I'm-
35? I feel like it said he's 35.
No,
Friend of
no,
35
they've
years.
been
Oh.
friend of 35 years. If Hank retired at 35,
I know. That's the whole time. It sounds like
that
it
would be
sounds like you're
ridiculous. He's super young.
yeah.
You could either say he's been my friend for 35 years, or he's a friend of 35 years. And in a weird.
This seems unnecessarily pinpointed on how it was written.
I don't know whose kid this is picking
Cynical.
apart how it was written.
And I believe it is your eldest daughter.
Yeah, semicolon. Unnecessary.
Yeah, so I think there's lots of good options here. Like, but none of them are that just because you offer to do something kind means that you have like your nose is completely open and it has to stay that way, right? Like it's okay to invite someone for dinner and not let them stay the night. It's okay to give someone a ride somewhere and not be the taxi for the whole day. It's fine.
Well, and here's the thing: is I struggle when people say, "This is my good friend Hank." I have a list of people that are my good friends, and I would say, "Hey, this is getting out of hand, Steve." You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to took you around everywhere. Pick a joint. We're only going one place. Where you want to go?
Yeah.
Right. If he was a good friend, that's the stuff you say. But like, we seem like we're politically dancing around our friendship, which means I don't think it was that good to begin with.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, if it's close enough friend, you should just say the thing.
Or
Wait,
they're
doesn't he
very
also have
considerate
like
people.
family? He has family members, doesn't he?
It does not say whether Hank has family or not.
Cousin?
It does not say whether he has a cousin, at least.
I need more information.
Agreed. Agreed.
Give me the full file.
There's many options for Hank, and almost all of it is solved by being straightforward. Like, look, man, I can't. I just be honest with him. Like, I got about 45 minutes today, Hank. Where can we go, buddy? What do you want to do?
Yeah, and he
You know-
says, "Hey, I got an hour and a half worth of stuff." Say, "Well, if you can get 45 minutes of it done, then I'm in. If not, you may have to find someone else because I don't have the time today." And like any legitimate friend will will not want to inconvenience you. Like as long as you said, "Hey, I got 45 minutes," like, "Oh man, great, thank you for sharing your 45 minutes," right? And you driving. Here's the thing: is that like people get jaded on doing good things for people because they didn't set proper boundaries, and that's a double loss. Because then you didn't do the good thing, which is good for you and for the people you're helping. And so do everybody a favor and set a boundary.
And here's the deal. He's been a friend of 35 years. Maybe he thinks you're enjoying your time with him.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe he's mistaken you as a friend.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought we liked to be together.
Well,
Yeah.
like if he's retired, doesn't really matter what is like. It doesn't have to be like a great car. Not to be driving that much.
Layla's stuck on he just needs to go buy a vehicle.
He just needs to buy something.
I mean, yeah, he does.
I
Put
mean,
some
he
scratch
has the
together.
money
Go to
for
the
grocery
Facebook
stores.
market. There's got to be something on there. I
Golf
mean,
cart?
do
He
they
can
sell
also
cars
use a
on there?
bike.
Go kart.
Bike.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
go-kart.
So far, our
Or
options
bike.
we've come up with are get an Uber, go to the Facebook Marketplace, or get a cousin.
Yeah.
Or use a bike.
Amazon, they'll just bring it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of good
You
options
don't
here.
need to go shopping.
Just set some
home.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Set some boundaries.
Okay, Secular says, I suggest you stop making yourself so available when Hank asks for transportation. If you do, it may stimulate him to look more diligently for a new vehicle or explore other rideshare options.
I'm sorry, Hank. I'm busy buying candy corn today. I cannot take you to a Walmart.
You know it's my Tuesday candy corn run. Don't you call me on Tuesdays, Hank. I mean, here's the deal. Is like that advice isn't so terrible. Like sometimes, my boss is pretty classic for saying this, is like, change won't happen until you make somebody feel it. And so sometimes you got to make somebody feel it. And it's not you being vindictive, it's you helping them change. If they're not willing to do it on their own, then you got to let some of the weight fall on them, and they will make a move.
I also feel like he's just being lazy.
He could be.
He can get out of bed and go get a job, but instead he gotta call up his friend and be like, "Take me to this place."
Agree. I mean, I don't actually understand I enjoy that level of freedom, and I don't understand the mindset that doesn't. So it's hard for me to speak to understand Hank very well, because like I ultimately like I would always tend to drive myself and be able to go where I want to go, and like that would drive me personally nuts. But there's some people that don't feel that way. There's people that love to take Ubers because there's other people in them, right? What is like the Uber Black or something, where you get picked up in like a van with like 6 other people?
Yeah.
And like they love it because you get to spend this time meeting 6 other people on the way to your various places, and that whole situation makes me want to vomit.
That sounds terrible.
Like, it just sounds horrible. I would never want to do that. But some people really enjoy like meeting random people like that, and maybe Hank's that way. Maybe he likes the company and he likes going out with people, and that's his deal. And so, not to rob him of that, but also like if you're gonna be in a community like that and want that type of community, you have to care about the other members in the community, which means you can't inconvenience them and drag them down to nothing. Like that seems unfair.
Maybe he's just lonely.
Maybe Hank is lonely.
I think he is.
Yeah. And it's all right. It's all right to help him. Just put some limits on him. All right, you've been listening to Live for the Path.
A pen pal?
Yeah, pen pal.
You know, there's not enough old school pen pal action going on.
Email buddy.
No.
I'm a pen pal with Ella. kind of.
Fantastic. Hey, you've been listening to Live from the Path.
We let that down.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Really do appreciate it. You guys are always gracious with us and listen to the show, and we thank you as always for your support. It's been a fun 2019.
Pretty minimalistic though.
Yeah.
Live from the Past gonna come back stronger next year.
Yeah, our goal is to do at least 5 more shows next year than we did this year.
Yes.
We'll see how that shakes out.
Next year's our 10 year. We've been on the air for 10 years.
Yes. Yeah, 2020, March 2020, that'll be a completion of 10 years of broadcasting.
That means you two weren't even alive.
Yeah.
What?
I was.
All right.
Yeah, we were live.
Yeah, you two were. We
By
were
no
fine.
scheme of my own, I was alive.
Complaint line's gonna go off the hook this week.
Oh yeah.
That's 515-517-0085. I think, hold on, 515-517-0085. Hey, here's the deal. If you're really fired up about the Christianity Today article, don't call the complaint line. I'm probably not going to listen to it. I got enough of that stuff going on, and you should take it easy. All right, we're going to let you go. We will see you in the new year. In the meantime, be faithful in the means. God will handle the ends. You've been listening to Live from the Path.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Good job, ladies.
Yay.